Hi everyone, and thanks for joining us once again on GameOn, the show where we talk about the Premier League, we talk about all the shenanigans in the Premier League, all the drama, referees inconsistencies, and all what you may, everything that makes the Premier League the most exciting league in the world today. My name is Joseph Faulkner, welcoming you all to the show, and I've got my friends here. I'm going to be starting with the runaway man. He's back. Festus Chuku. He wasn't here last week, but for good reason. Festus, how are you today?
I'm okay, Kali. Eddie, how are you? I hope you're good. Hello, soccer fans. I always use soccer fans because it aligns with where I am. And here we call it soccer. Like we all know, we can call it football or anything. We call it all over the world. You're welcome to Game On. It's another wonderful time. And I know you're going to have a beautiful time today. Thank you.
Awesome. That's Festus Chuku that we like to call him Faze. That story for another day. One day we'll tell you the reason for that name. one day very soon. We're also in the company of Eddie. Eddie, how are you today?
I'm doing very well. Fantastic. It's great to be back. So excited about this one. The Premier League is really, really getting exciting. Everything to play for. So I'm looking forward to getting into this one, guys. Thank you, everyone, for connecting to the show, and you're going to enjoy this one.
Awesome. Eddie, interesting enough, we almost called most of the games we predicted last week, right? We almost called all of them right. We told you guys we're going to be reviewing our predictions, but because it was just Eddie and I, we're going to move on. We're going to move on. Now, now we have 3 people today, so hopefully next week when we get here, we're going to talk about our predictions and what have you. I can't wait to yap some people, but hey, it is what it is. All right. Quickly, it's hotting up in the Premier League, and we keep saying that every week. We saw some very interesting results, and one of such results, 2 of such results are making about 2 teams chasing the top 4 finish: Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur. Both of them, Arsenal going away at West Ham, London derby. We knew it was going to be a tough one, and even Mikel Arteta admitted to that immediately after the game. Like, Arsenal had to win ugly, and it's something we've said over the years that champions must do. You must learn to win even when you're not playing well, and that's what Arsenal did. Tottenham was on their part, totally dominate Leicester City. But Festus, last weekend, Arsenal Spurs, interesting results from you. Were you shocked with the kind of results that we saw?
For Tottenham, I wasn't shocked. I expected them to win Leicester. But for Arsenal, I seriously didn't believe we'll win that match. We've struggled over very physical teams in the past, especially in the recent time. And most of them, like, they adopted a playbook. I think Crystal Palace started it, and a whole lot of them adopted it. And you could see in quick succession, we lost 3 games that we're not supposed to have lost. And kudos to Arteta. I know, Eddie, you're not a fan of Arteta, but you could see that Arteta has really matured and is doing well. Kudos to him. He realized the problem, and which is the spine in the middle. Saka alone, with Partey out due to injury, we realized that we were struggling in the middle. We're being bossed around. And what did he do? He brought in a nanny and brought back Saka in the middle, and decided to play a natural left back. Yeah, he's still learning, but we could see that with that, he stabilized that middle, and you could see the spine came back. And then he has been doing well, covering for Partey. And Arsenal balance, it just looked like a totally new team. From the last 3 games we lost, we could see the team immediately changed, and I was shocked that we could cope with that physicality of West Ham. And even the Chelsea and the Man U, and look at the 3 straight matches we've won. These were not matches. These are matches on a good day. We could have, counted as matches we were going to lose, or at worst get some points, like a point from them. But you could see that the matches we expected to win is actually the matches we lost, and the ones we said we were expected to lose are the matches we won. And kudos to Arteta. He really did stabilize that team and strengthen them, and we could actually match most of these physical teams, and we were no longer vulnerable to them. So that match against West Ham, for me, I wasn't expecting that win. In fact, I was the worst I thought we could get from that match was a draw. So I was shocked with that result.
I don't think I didn't think we were gonna win that game. I think when Kali and I did, our predictions, we basically sort of said, listen, Europa, and the Europa Conference are gonna play a hand in the outcome of those games, because we felt that those two teams, Leicester and West Ham, they've had their eyes, on what was gonna happen this week. And so we expected them to rest players, which they did. It was a case of how many players which each team rest, and you could see that Leicester rested more players than West Ham actually did. In fact, West Ham actually put out a very strong team. Some of the players that played in that game, I didn't expect to play. I didn't expect to see Bowen. I didn't expect to see Rice. I didn't expect to see Zuma. And these were all players, that played. So immediately I saw the starting lineup. I thought, ooh, this is not going to be a walk in the park. However, I still expected us to win, just because I know that the teams were going to be distracted. So I think we both predicted an Arsenal and a Spurs win. And I think what's happening, what I'm noticing in Arsenal, and we're gonna get better at this, is that we're learning game management. Um, and game management is not just about you score the fancy goals and you just keep scoring. It's about how do you manage those phases of the game. The first 15 minutes, the next 15 minutes, the next 15 minutes, and I think that's almost what you can see the Arsenal players trying to learn, and that's why I think that that game looked a little bit ugly. I think they were also trying to perfect that game management, which should just put us in a very good stead in this running.
Do you think that the three losses, those three losses to three losses, two of them to very physical teams, talking about Crystal Palace, Brighton, and Hove Albion, do you think it played in the minds of this Arsenal side against when they went up against West Ham?
Hey,
Oh,
I think so. I think so. I think you can't dismiss the losses. The losses were ugly. We got a beating down at Crystal Palace. Let's not mess about that. That was that
True,
was a real that was a real
true.
beating. If it was a boxing match, I don't think we got up for the count
that was
in
a
that
technical
game.
knockout.
It was.
Yes, yes, it is.
uh, we didn't get off for the count, and then Brighton and then Southampton. It was just it. Yes, those were bad defeats. So you can't lose like that, especially against teams that you're expected to be. I'm not saying that Arsenal is superior, but I think just knowing the way that we've been playing in the last couple of games, we expected the outcome to be different. To go in those games and have that kind of result would absolutely play their mind. So for a young team, it's something that they're trying to overcome.
For me, I will give all the kudos to Arteta. He actually learned from those three games we lost. And what really happened was he actually changed the way we played, and he brought in a Nenit who steadied the midfield. I've said it this before. That midfield was suspect. We were bullied. We were bulldozed. Midfield was no spine in that midfield because of Party out, Zaka being paired with different people. It wasn't working. And then it brought stability when he partnered with Zaka and he stabilized that midfield. And he has been doing a very good job covering. It's as if we're not even missing Partey at this point, despite how good Partey has been before the injury. So I think that is what really happened in the last three matches we won. He has studied the midfield and everybody rallied around what he's trying to do. And I think we've increased our physicality also because we realized that that is a place where suspects, everybody was coming, they were using the playbook of Crystal Palace. And we could see we're matching most dead balls, 50-50 duels. And right now we're in the people's faces. We're contesting all balls. So that's Arteta for you. And I give him that. I think he actually did what the changes we saw in that team.
So I hear you very much, Festus. But Eddie, is Arsenal's midfield a lot steadier now, or just got a bit more physical with the
Um,
inclusion of many?
so I think what we have now here is experience in the midfield. It was something that was missing when Eldeni wasn't there. I wouldn't necessarily say that, the quality has necessarily improved as much, but I think it's allowed, certain players to be more natural in their positions. Shaka can go in, in that midfield and do, what he typically does in the midfield, try and orchestrate the passes, string the defense and the midfield and the attack together. I think it gave us balance in the midfield, and that balance helps because now have players that can do what they naturally would want to do instead of worrying about other people's jobs, because football is about doing your job on the
Mhm.
pitch. And when you go on the pitch, you want to know that if I do my job, I know that the other guys are going to do their job, as well. And when we didn't have that balance, it was almost as if, Xhaka playing out there in left back, he's still thinking, I need to cover those spaces in the midfield, and then he will go out of position. So you're not going to do the job as a left back well, not going to do the job as a midfielder well. So I think we just have competency there. And I think that's what El Neni has brought to the team and
It's
has
true.
allowed the other guys to do what they're supposed to do.
Okay, so in those 3 games, we created more chances than those 3 games we lost. We created more chances than we've created in the last 3 games we won, right? But in those 3 games that we lost, that we created all those chances, we didn't score. We only scored 1 in 3 and considered about 7 goals, about 6 goals in 3, but we didn't score a goal. In the last 3, we've scored 9 goals and considered 4. So I think what has changed is people scoring goals. There's a bit more physicality because we're still considering goals. We've been lucky to not against West Ham, for instance, they could have beaten us. We could have lost that game because West Ham created some interesting chances. Ramsdale made some incredible saves, made 2 incredible saves in that game. We had Holding. We know he's the master of block throwing his body on the line. So I just feel, kudos to El Neni with the physicality he's brought into the side. But I don't really think anything has changed in the way we play in the middle. A bit more experience, yeah, but finally we are putting the balls in the back of the net, and that's why going into the summer we need to think about goal scoring. It's something that Arsenal must deal with all the brutality the management of the team can sum up together. Edu and Arteta must find a way to get us strikers who can put the ball in the back of the net. Because what's the use when you create 72 chances, goal scoring chances, and you cannot score 5 in 72? That's abysmal. You have eight shots on target. You can't concede. You can't score 1.
Kali, can I add something here? What do you think? Do you think Lacazette should be given a contract?
I think he should leave.
Okay,
I think
Eddie, what do you
Lacazette should
think?
leave.
Yeah, I think we've that ship has sailed.
Yeah, for me, I
Um,
think the same thing also.
I think you're absolutely right though about goal scoring, and I always tend to look at goal scoring as it's something that the whole team should do. If you look at how successful, if we go back in the day when Arsenal used to be very successful, we had Thierry Henry scoring goals, but then we had Ljungberg scoring, we had Petit scoring, we had Overmars scoring,
Wiltord,
Will
Petit,
Todd,
Dennis
there were
Beckham.
goals coming from every part of the team. And so I'm hoping that now we've got Gabriel, who seems to be getting an eye for goal. I think he's probably out of defenders, probably one of the top scoring defenders, right now in the Premier League.
He
Um,
has the defender with the centre back with the highest number of goals.
Number
He
of
has
goals.
4, one more than what's his name, but he's the highest scoring defender right now
So,
in the
so
league.
if he continues that, chipping in 4 or 5 goals a season, and then we now start in the midfield, we're getting Odegaard needs to score more, no
Yeah,
question about that. I think Smith Rowe has a good, composure in front of goal. He just needs to get into position a little bit more. Saka, we know he can score, and then you now have a proven goal scorer.
and you have Martinelli. Don't
And you
forget
have
Martinelli is
Martinelli,
also there.
exactly. I think Lacazette's time is done in Arsenal. And as much as it hurts me, I think Eddie Nketiah is also saying goodbye as well.
Yeah, but I'd love to keep Nketiah because of his age.
I will.
Because of his age.
But you also, he is also ambitious, Kali. He has been with Arsenal for a while. And
he's a young boy. He's a young boy.
Yes, but this is when he needs to make his mark also. He has experience in the Premier League.
No, Festus, this is where I will totally disagree with you.
Okay.
He's a young lad, regardless of the fact that Arsene Wenger threw him into the deep early in his career. It doesn't make him a ready-made player yet.
No, I am talking from the player's perspective. I am talking from the player's perspective.
Somebody needs to let him understand. Somebody needs to let him understand that he can't be too full of himself.
I agree.
You're in a team that is very young, your age mates. You look at the progression, they are growing. You know, this is the best place for you to lead because he's going to go. I can count how many Arsenal youngsters who felt they had arrived and left the club and they totally vanished. And not just Arsenal.
But it depends on the club. It depends on the club he's going to. If he decides to go to a middle table club, he could actually get starting spots and grow also.
Even if finished, even if
the Wolves, the Crystal Palace, a lot of middle playing team that will allow him actually blossom. No, get where I'm coming from. If I'm an Eddie at this point in time, I have come into Premiership for, let's say, about 4 seasons now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And clearly, we're going to bring in a striker, and he will still be a squad player by next season. I will want to take my chances, go to a middle table team. I'm not saying I've arrived now, but go to a middle table team where I will play regular time and grow. And I'm telling you, if he grows in the next 2 years, you see the big clubs coming back for him. It has happened.
Do you think Eddie will make the Wolves team right now? Who will he bench in that team?
Raul is not really firing on all cylinders, and a whole lot of them, the pundits and the rest, are not scoring.
Eddie will still sit on the bench for him.
He will sit
because
on
he doesn't have the intelligence. See, let's not be fooled with. He's been introduced to the Premier League 4 years ago. How many games has he played in the Premier League?
Okay, but now, okay, let's.
He hasn't played in 4 years. He hasn't played 30 games in the 25 games in the Premier League.
So let me talk to my namesake. Let me tell Eddie what's going on. If I'm Eddie, I'll be saying to him, listen, right? If Arsenal qualifies for the Champions League, I'll be saying to him, listen, which team do you want to go to? You get a chance now. Arsenal is going to play a lot more games. Champions League means that already you're going to play 40 to 50 games, depending on how you progress, right? Yeah. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to compete, for the striking position when we bring in another striker, right? And between the two of you, we can build that strike force. Like I said, it's going to go. You're going to have a lot more competitions. Champions League, maybe the new guy that comes in, we're not going to guarantee anybody, a spot. But we'll say to him, FA Cup, League Cup, you compete for the league. And then, with that, you actually get your progression. Even Arteta sort of said, listen, I think I made a mistake, not playing him as much as I wanted to. And even if the manager is telling you that should give you some degree of, assurance. He goes to another team, not in the Champions League, struggling for, whatever it is in the Premier League. I'm just looking at the teams and I'm thinking, which team would he go in there and become an
except he wants to go to a Leeds United that is battling relegation and he can't bench Bamford except Bamford is injured. Yeah. If he goes to Leicester City, he can't bench any of those guys in front except injuries happen. Maybe
if he goes to Crystal Palace, we know that Zaha, he's going to, at least for a year or so, Zaha is the number one person there. And the way that they like to play, is Zaha and Eze and Olise, in that front three. So for me, Arsenal is still the best position for him. Get some more money, get some growth.
But it depends also other factors. I don't know if they Arsenal offering him more money. I don't know what other clubs may be offering. Remember, money plays a big part in
yes, it does. But no other club in the world will pay him as much as what Arsenal is offering him. And the reason is simple. The reason is because he's been with Arsenal. They want to give him a new contract. Definitely, they want to add a little to what he's earning. No other club will pay him £20,000 a week. No other club, because he's not up there yet. So, because these guys play at Arsenal, they get to be in the spotlight very often. I'll give you examples. Theo Walcott, he left Arsenal after his season is gone into oblivion. Alex Iwobi, he left Arsenal. A few people were angry with the management for letting Iwobi go. Where is Iwobi right now? He's struggling to nail a starting place at Everton. Everybody talked about Maitland-Niles and how Arteta was unjust to the guy. Arteta is not giving him chances. They are tired of him at Roma. They want to send him back. At Roma, he's not even playing regularly anymore. But out there, while he was at Arsenal and Arteta wasn't playing him, so many fans, went for Arteta and said that, why will you bench him? Why will you? And when they eventually sold him or told him to go on loan, a lot of people, attacked him. On why you? So a lot of these guys, because they play at Arsenal, they are in the spotlight, and it makes them look like, oh, they've arrived. No, they haven't. This Arsenal team for a long time have been bang average, even below average sometimes. This Arsenal team for seasons, for all the time to qualify for UEFA League, the team was overachieving, in my opinion, because we had a bunch of players that shouldn't even play anywhere near the Arsenal side. So Nketiah is under the illusion right now that he's arrived because he's playing at Arsenal. I give him 2 years away from Arsenal. Sometimes you go to teams and the team is doing well and it rubs off on you. And then sometimes you go to a team that is not doing well and unfortunately everybody forgets about you. And I feel that's what's going to happen to Nketiah. If he's so fantastic, how many goals has he scored in his stats for Arsenal? 3. Yeah, we all talk about him. At least he's getting shots on target, unlike Lacazette. And what I like about him is he's still young. There's still chance for him to grow, but he needs to be in the right place, not a place where they will kill him with the weight of expectation. And that's, I think, what Arteta has been protecting him from for a while now. And Arteta has shown, a lot of us, we might ignore that part of Arteta's management style. He has shown that he understands this. He has played this game. He understands this game, and he's not going to allow any weight of expectations from fans kill you. So he's going to manage your growth. And I think that's what he's done with players like Gabriel Martinelli. There was a time everybody shouted, oh, Martinelli this, Martinelli that. How many goals has Martinelli scored since he started playing regularly? But if Arteta had not been playing him, everybody would have been shouting, oh, Martinelli could have gotten us goals. He could have got because he scored against Chelsea and he scored in an FA Cup game. So sometimes the manager is working with these guys directly. He knows he sees their ability every day. Why is he not playing Pepe? Pepe is supposed to be the most skillful guy at Arsenal. Every Arsenal player said it. I've heard interview and they said when it comes to skills, Pepe is the most skillful guy. But when it comes to end product, Pepe can't even match up to a lot of these youngsters. So I feel Nketiah, I will keep Nketiah. If I had his direct number, I'll call him and I'll tell him, you know what, stay one more year. Don't go just yet. Stay one more year. But let's move away from Arsenal, guys. Let's move away from Arsenal. Let's go to the title contenders now, because we're going to come back to the race for the top 4, which is looking like a race for the top 3. I don't know if it resonates the same with you guys, but let's look at the title contenders. How City lost in a very devastating way to Real Madrid in midweek. They had that game, under their control. They should have won that game. They had everything. But of course, Mr. Pep, in his usual way, took out Mahrez, took out De Bruyne, thinking the game was done. This is Real Madrid, the team with the most Champions League, all the best records in the Champions League, they have it. And with 5 minutes to go or 10 minutes to go, you are taking out some of your best players that kept some of these guys. But the way they've lost, I know it's something that is going to ring in the heads of a lot of these players. Mm-hmm. How can they come back from it? Do you guys think the way they lost to Real Madrid, can affect their title chase, starting from the game against Newcastle this weekend?
That was I feel I'm not a Man City fan, but I feel for it's like the worst way to win a game, right? Because 10 minutes you're already in the final. you can already see that, okay, we just need to manage this game, to the conclusion, right? You've come into the game, you've done what you were supposed to do, score the first goal. You
Yeah.
scored the first goal, now you're ahead, and you're thinking, you know what, this is gonna be. And then to get sucker punched like that, the way they considered those two goals in quick succession, that's going to stay long. And it's funny because Liverpool had the exact opposite. They were energized the way that they won their game, while Man
Mhm.
City will be completely deflated. And Newcastle is going to be a very, very tough game for them. The only thing that helps them is the fact that they are probably playing at home,
Yeah.
against Newcastle. If they were playing away to Newcastle, I would be very, very concerned because you're putting on the traveling time, enough time for the players to try and, think about the game, and all that. And, so now that they're playing at home, I think that might just, it's going to be a scrappy game, no doubt, because they're probably going to need another 20 minutes to get that game out of their system before they can now get back into their groove. So they're going to have an impact. There's no question about that. It's just how, you know, Pep is going to manage the first 20 minutes, of that Newcastle game, because that could be the biggest 20 minutes for Man City in the title.
For me,
Festus,
Kali,
yeah.
for me, Kali, I have a totally different opinion from what Eddie's saying. I agree with him totally how they lost that match. It was so painful. I'm a Pep fan anytime, any day. I'm not a Barca fan, but I'm a Pep fan. I I I admire him. I admire the way he sets his team and his achievements over the years. So it was painful, really, seeing what happened to them. Notwithstanding, the match against Newcastle, interestingly, they've both won 4 matches in their last 5 matches, which means both teams are actually in good form. The only draw City had was against Liverpool, and these guys, their only loss was against Spurs, which was a blip in their form. But for me, I think City will bounce back because this is what Pep does. He has overwhelming experience, and he has very experienced players that knows. City has good club management. They have psychologists that would have worked on these guys and taken this off them. So they know what is at stake. Obviously, they would have tuned in to the title, which is the only thing they have to play this season, if I'm not mistaken, which is the title. So, and they know they have just 4 matches together done. So I don't see anything that will stop them from achieving that, and not definitely Newcastle. So I see them even having a whitewash in this game. I don't even see it being tight. It's not going to be scrappy.
It's not going to be. It's Newcastle.
I'm telling you how I feel about this match. They are going to come with a vengeance. They will put the annoyance of how they feel, the annoyance of that match. You will see it on Newcastle, and I'm telling you, it's not going to be close. This is not going to be scrappy. They are going to win and win big.
So you don't think the players psychologically they will be deflated, because I'm sure De Bruyne wants the Champions League. Sterling wants the Champions. Sterling might be leaving this club. He wants the Champions League. Fernandinho is on his way out. He wants the Champions. A lot of these players want the Champions League. Yeah. And look at the way they almost had it. And this same manager, the genius, in his own tactics, found a way to, connive against the club, and they lost or whatever. You don't think that will affect the players in any way, psychologically?
Of course, they are human beings. They would have felt it 1 day, 2 days. But I'm saying that these are professionals. Just like you being a professional in your field. These are professionals. They have tools to help them cope with stuff like this. They have psychologists. They have resources to help them. Highest a day, 2, they feel that way, and everybody will rally around them, and they will be focused. They'll be refocused for what is at stake, which is the Premiership title, which is the next big thing. Do you understand? Yeah. They wouldn't want to lose all. So the team would have deployed everything possible to make sure they are ready for that match, because they know that after that match, the other ones, they have 3 more matches to go, and once they can hold their own and stay in shape and stay in place, they know that the title will be theirs, and at least they will still go out within the season with something tangible. I know they are professionals.
The title is a good one.
That's
You
a good
know,
one. It's not that bad. I know, yeah, it's disappointing that they didn't get the Champions League, but at the end, they will get the title and they need to stay focused. So I don't see Newcastle upsetting them in that
So,
match.
so I don't think that they're going to lose the game. And I hear what you say. They are professionals. They've got all the psychologists and stuff like that. Um, but football is about your last game, right? The last game that you played, and the momentum that you carry from that game, and it's a lot harder at this time of the season to just pick up and just continue. So
yep,
I expect, the first couple of minutes, they're going to try and get themselves back into it, try and get that, belief in themselves. I'm not saying that they've lost belief, but, when you lose a Champions League semi-final like that, and I know they've got experience of losing Champions Leagues in the past, and it has not affected them going to go and win the league. So you can say they've got that going for it. But I think that what Carly was talking about, the players, the mix of the players. Some players are on their way out of Man City, and surely it has to have some impact. Now I expect Pep to make some changes, for that game against Newcastle. I expect Gabriel
yep,
Jesus to start the game. Perhaps Sterling might get back on the bench. Fernandinho, I don't expect him to start. In that game against Newcastle. I think he would put enough freshness, back in the team just to give them that extra boost. And then, he would see how that goes. Because clearly, right now, it's now all or nothing. This next
yeah.
couple of games. So I expect them to win, but I don't expect it to be a walk in the park.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I agree with both of you. The different views, and I think they are champions. They've been here before. I don't think they want to go the season empty-handed. So I'm very sure these boys, like you said, Festus, they are professionals. They will find a way to get themselves out. And like you said, Eddie, I expect that Pep Guardiola, I beg your pardon, to come find a way, mix and match again. I don't even think Fernandinho is going to be anywhere near that bench. This weekend. Yeah, not because he's not good. But because now,
He's
like
past
you
his
said, it's
prime.
all or nothing. You need to drive, as in you need to drive through every obstacle, every team in front of you till the end of the season. And but their rivals, Liverpool. Liverpool, we can't talk about them enough. They have the best form since January. They are blowing everybody away, but they struggled against Newcastle United. Newcastle, and it's credit to Eddie Howe and Newcastle United and the way they played this season. Bruno has been massive. For Newcastle United, he's enjoying himself in England. He's already dreaming of pushing Newcastle United into the Conference League. I was shocked. I saw a tweet from the player thinking, and then I went to the league and looked at to see if they have the mathematical chance
Yeah, I think
of
10th
qualifying
position at that
for,
bad.
and I think they do.
Yeah,
And that will be
10th
the story.
position.
That will be the story of the season. If Newcastle United qualifies for the UEFA Conference League, that will be the story of the season. From a team that was rock bottom for so many months in the league to come in, but they go up against Manchester City, and the focus really is on Manchester City, and they are it's on Liverpool. I beg your pardon. It's on Liverpool and their drive to that title. They are hoping City will slip up and they can capitalize. And that's why, even when it's not going well, they find a way, get that one goal like they did against Newcastle United, and they do it. But what a battle this is going to be. Liverpool, they are going to be up against a team that is also dying, for some, not just any kind of European football, Champions League, Tottenham Hotspur. Is this the time Liverpool will stutter? Or is it Tottenham Hotspurs who are going to get punished this weekend?
Well, Liverpool, this is not the time to stutter, right?
are you saying are you saying that as an Arsenal fan now?
I am saying this.
Everything. I'm saying for everything.
I'm just saying for the sake of the Premier League, for the first position and being champions, this is not the time to
No, they
stutter.
can't.
So,
It's not the time to take your legs off, to
so
apply the
Cannot
brakes.
stutter, man.
listen,
Not now,
I
man.
listen. I think Liverpool have just hit sort of patch that. I'm sure even for themselves, they can't even understand how everything is going for them. They are coming back from, the jaws of defeat. They're coming back from bad performances. They are overcoming so much obstacle. So Real Madrid and Liverpool just give me that sense of they don't know when they are beaten. So, you see that game, right, against Liverpool, and you're thinking to yourself, well, you go into a game and you're 2 goals down, right? You haven't played well. And then next thing, you just turn on the tap and it's boom, 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 3 goals. And you're like, where did that come from? I was looking
Yeah.
at the scores. I was thinking to myself, when did the aggregate became 4-2? because because I was thinking to
That's
myself,
Liverpool.
I was thinking,
That's Liverpool.
so for me, I look at that game. They play on Saturday night against Tottenham, and they play before City. So they don't have that added pressure of looking at what City has done. So I fully
Yeah.
expect Liverpool to go out there, and they're playing at Anfield, and we know that everything goes right at Anfield these days. So the Anfield crowd, I expect Tottenham, and the reality is that if you look at Tottenham game, they haven't played well in the first half. The last couple of games,
Yep.
they only turn
Yep.
up in the second half. Now, when you do that against a team like
Against Liverpool,
Liverpool, you're gonna be done.
they'll eat you up.
They'll absolutely eat you up. So
They'll eat you up.
if they show up the way they showed up against Newcastle in that first half, by halftime, Liverpool will be 3 goals up.
And that's a place they don't want to be. Festus, you want to chip in on
that? I just want to tell Eddie. At times, I enjoy it when you give people
the chance.
A chance. My brother Eddie. Spurs does not have any chance in Anfield. I can say it authoritatively.
Liverpool haven't lost this year.
Anfield, they've not lost at Anfield. And I don't see them losing against Spurs at Anfield. No, the stars are there to prove. I don't even want to go to the stars, but I'm telling you, based on what these guys are currently doing, and because they are so fixated in getting the title. You can see how they play. You can see how they approach all matches. Even when they don't play well, you see them, they grind out something. They are within touching distance. They are just waiting for City to slip off so that they can't get distance. So I can't see Spurs getting even a draw in Anfield. I can't even envisage it. So, and if you notice, they've not lost for a very long time. The last draw they got was just against City. Meanwhile, we've seen Spurs at times being inconsistent. Yeah, they won three of their last 5 matches, but we've seen them lose, draw. So at times you don't even know the Spurs are turning, just like Arsenal at times. But Liverpool has been consistent. You know what you will get. You know what we get at every point in time, especially at Anfield. So for this match, I don't want us to even waste our time on this because
basically
you're saying a Liverpool
just write them off.
Basically, you're saying that the best that Spurs are going to get is the Lucozade drink from the Liverpool stadium.
and then Festus, you were alluding to the stats.
Yeah.
Liverpool, they are yet to lose at home this season.
Yeah.
As in, they are the kings of their home grounds.
Yeah.
The most that will happen is a draw.
Anfield is the clear slaughter ground for this season.
Yeah, even when they struggled against City, when City, when they played, was in October or so last year?
That was 2-2.
Yeah, it was 2-2. When 2-2. City turned up the heat or whatever.
Yeah.
They got their draw.
They came back and they didn't play well in that match, remember? City dominated them in that match, but they came back and they drew that match.
And they got that draw.
Yeah.
It tells you the mentality Liverpool have, In the Champions League game, when Villarreal looks like, they were cruising, and Luis Diaz came on,
Yeah.
and the story totally changed. Totally changed.
What a player.
And guys, the combination of Jota, Diaz, Mane, Salah, Firmino is injured. I don't know I think it's a doubt for the match. But you see those 4 firepowers. I don't see Spurs matching that.
You're missing someone.
I'm not even talking of the midfield. I'm talking of just those.
You are missing Thiago. Thiago is having.
No, these are the midfielders. I'm even talking of those in front. Do you know the good thing about?
Talk about Diaz.
Wait, hold on. Do you know the good thing about Liverpool, Eddie? Everybody wants to score. Everybody. Once Mane scores, Salah wants to score. Diaz wants to score. Jota comes, he wants to score.
I don't think it's about everybody wanting to score. It's about everybody being able to score. They will just get in there and get the goals.
Firmino comes from the bench, he scores. Everybody.
So who do you hold? So then the question is, how do you stop them from, and Thiago is playing the best football of his career right now. He's enjoying himself. This is the same player so many thought will struggle in England. Yeah. And he's enjoying himself because he's talented, he's intelligent, he knows how to pick those very intricate passes. Yeah. And that's working for the team right now.
He had fitness problem when he first came. Everybody wrote him off, blah, blah, blah. But he has gotten over the fitness. And you could see him playing,
enjoying himself.
Fantastic football. But so for me, let's go out. Let's just move on from the Spurs Liverpool.
Hold on, calm down. Calm down. But let's assume that Liverpool have a bad day. Let's just assume. Do you think this Tottenham Hotspur, have they shown you anything at any point this year? Let's not look at the entire season. This year, they've had some very interesting results this year. But have they shown you anything that, in case Liverpool decides not to turn up, do they have what it takes to hurt Liverpool? And I know we're going to go to Kulusevski, Harry Kane, Son. Do they have?
Yes, they do.
So they do. So for me, this game, if this game turns out where, Liverpool is all, because we expect them to dominate the game, and Spurs are going to play on the counter attack. They have the players just on the counter attack to be able to hurt, any team. Son, Kane, dimension, they can hurt any team. And Son and Kane are little in front of goals. So, yes, they can hurt, Liverpool, but that would be if the game is still 0-0, right? I don't expect that game to be 0-0 after the first whistle has gone.
Oh my God.
So for me, that changes the dynamics of the game. Of course, Spurs can score goals. Of course, they've got that trio.
Oh, they've got the firepower as well.
Yeah, they've got the firepower, especially if they play on the break. I just feel that Liverpool is not going to let the game get to that sort of. It won't get it. It won't get there.
It won't get to that point.
If this match was being played at Tottenham, Carly, yes, Tottenham would have had a chance. From what you're saying, they could. No, I'm just saying. You asked the question.
I'm not even sure.
Let them come and play it at the national.
No, but remember, you asked the question.
Let them go to the national stadium in Lagos. They will lose.
No. See what I'm saying, Carly. You asked the question. You said, do they have? Yes, if you remember now, we are hypothetical. We're saying yes, they have the materials. That materials could have worked if their Spurs is playing at home. We could give them a bit of chance for something like that to happen. But you see, at Anfield, no way.
All right. So quickly, let's move along. The battle for the drop, the dirty teams. Unfortunately, Everton is mentioned in this light, but they did their battle for survival, a world of good without victory over Chelsea. And we're going to talk about Chelsea in relation to Arsenal and Spurs before we go to our predictions. But let's look at this Everton side. That victory, I'm sure, must have, in some ways, given them the belief that they can still escape relegation. But unfortunately for them, Burnley is on a roll. I think they made it three games in 3.
Yeah. Burnley has 3 in 3.
3 in 3. That's a form that they couldn't find at all before now. But somehow they fired Sean Dyche. The temporary manager, has found a way to help them keep it tight, score the odd goals, win the odd games, and now they have 3-3. And that's a problem for Everton, who are trying to battle their way out of relegation. Festus.
Kylie, Everton is actually not fighting with Burnley. You're missing the point. Everton is fighting with Leeds. Burnley is ahead of Leeds is 34.
Yeah. So the reason I say this is because before now, it was Burnley that was down there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Leeds has dropped. Leeds has come down.
So Burnley was supposed to still remain in the mix last weekend, but somehow they won.
Yep.
And they've distanced themselves from the dirty people.
So for me, clearly, initially I said Everton would drop based on what I saw, what was happening.
I want them to drop.
I don't want them to drop. They have a whole lot of good players, and at least to make the Premiership competitive.
If they drop, Arsenal can go and buy 10 million pounds players from there.
Okay, for me, really, I like how competitive the Premiership is. I don't think Everton deserves to drop. They have good players and stuff. So, see, I think Leeds will likely drop because one, Leeds they are not playing well, or they are not consistent. Leeds is on 34 points, just like Burnley, and they have a goal difference of -34. Burnley has -15. Now, this is interesting thing. Everton have a game in hand. They've played just 33, and they are 32 points. That's 2 points behind Leeds. So they have a game in hand. They have the new revived belief that they can actually do it by beating Chelsea. And from the games remaining, I think from what we could see that will likely happen, I see Leeds dropping, and I think Everton will definitely escape. Burnley, for me, I think Burnley would definitely escape. So if you're talking of those that will drop, I think it's Leeds. Leeds will join the dirty guys as the Watford and the Norwich.
So for me, right, I look at those games that are going to be played in the weekend. Burnley play first. They have their first match out of all of them. They play against Aston Villa and they play at home. So, you would expect Burnley to beat Aston Villa. Aston Villa are basically at home right now. They're just waiting for the league to just end.
They won one in 5 matches. Aston Villa.
But they also have a chance of playing in the Conference League if
they are not interested. They pack their bags.
They are not interested, Kylie. They are not interested.
The manager still talks about it. They have a chance.
But the players are not interested.
About it.
Yeah,
Kylie, the players are not interested.
Well, you expect the manager to talk about it now. He's not going to say, "Look, we've turned off for the season. We're going on holiday now." So I expect Burnley, to put up, and that will put a massive amount of pressure on Leeds and Everton, who play next. Now, I want to be careful how I speak about Leeds because we play them next, and they've got a very difficult run in. Everton did themselves a world of good, beating Chelsea, and we expected them to, get the momentum from beating Man United when that happened, but it didn't. So the question for Everton is really, are they going to be able to build on that win against Chelsea? Because no one gave them a chance. That game was supposed to be a loss for them, but they somehow managed to get 3 points from there. So if they can have that mentality to think, we're going to go into this game and, even if we are underdogs, we just find a way of getting 3 points, then I think they'll be okay. Now, Burnley have got a tricky game coming, right? They still play, Tottenham, who's fighting for the top 4, immediately after Aston Villa. So I would see them, looking at that Tottenham game and thinking, well, you know what? We could lose that game, but we cannot lose against Aston Villa, at least the 2 times that they played them. So Everton in a very difficult position. They are not out of it yet. I think that, Leeds, just looking at their fixtures, they play Arsenal, and then I think they also play some of the big teams as well. Before the end of the season.
Leeds are going to play Chelsea at some point.
Still play Chelsea.
So it's crazy for them. Very crazy.
Very difficult.
They're going to play Leicester. They're going to,
But they are capable, right? They are capable of springing something against someone. So I think it's too difficult to call.
They are not capable. Sorry, they are not, because the kind of people they are playing, I don't see anything happening. They are playing Arsenal, Chelsea. They're playing Brighton. They're playing Brentford. Brentford away, Brighton in their home, Chelsea in their home, and Arsenal away. Even those 4 matches, I expect them to lose those 4 matches. So I don't see them surviving the drop.
That's so you're talking about Leeds United, right?
Yeah, Leeds. I'm just pointing.
Unfortunately, they start against Arsenal that they've not beaten in God knows how many years. You know, no matter how good Leeds United are playing. I think the last time they beat Arsenal was probably in 2013 or something like that, something ridiculous like that. Or yeah, 2013.
But they've had some close games though. They've had
some. Yeah, I think they had some draws. They've had some draws with us.
So the draws are just draws. The draws are just draws. In their last 5 meetings with Arsenal, they lost 4 and drew only 1. So even if you're looking at the draws, how many times have they drawn against Arsenal?
So I seriously don't see Leeds making this, because the only chance they have will be against Brighton, which is they play home. And Brighton has been good travelers. They've won
a whole lot of the last time they beat Arsenal was 2003.
Okay, so I'm even talking about Brighton now. Brighton has been good travelers. They've been winning away for fun. So who will they win here? Brentford away. I can't see them beating Brentford away. I can't see them beating Chelsea in their home. I can't see them beating Arsenal away. So there is this tendency that they will lose these 4 matches.
Hold on about that, because we're going to talk about Chelsea, right? Because I'm not sure you can bank a win on Chelsea right now.
On Chelsea. I can't bank on them.
So I
disagree with you guys. Chelsea just had a blip like every other team. I disagree.
I think Arsenal can win this game. Leicester City, Everton, both of them 2 inconsistent teams, maybe a draw in that one. But Everton have not really shown you any reason to believe against the win against United and the win against Chelsea. As far as I'm concerned, were blips.
Kali, but from what you've even seen, they can pick points here, they could win days, or even giving them opportunities and chances. But against Leeds, the 4 matches we mentioned, I don't see Leeds picking anything from those matches.
No, I think you're being very, very unjust.
So I am saying it.
Let's look at Leeds and Brentford. I think Leeds can win the game against Brentford.
Yeah.
Regardless of how Brentford are playing. Now, Leeds have a way with teams in and around them. Yeah. And if you go and check their results all season, it's something they've done well. Look at the way they played away to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Yeah. They beat Wolverhampton Wanderers that nobody gave them a chance.
You're saying Leeds will beat Brentford at Brentford's home?
Possible.
No.
It's very possible.
No, let's be realistic. If Leeds is playing home, I could understand. But Leeds away to Brentford. Brentford in their home has not lost to a whole lot of teams.
It doesn't matter.
They've not lost. They've beaten a whole lot of teams in Brentford.
Yeah, Wolverhampton had the same record.
And Wolves had the same record.
We are speculating. At this point, we are speculating. I'm saying that based on what has happened in Brentford home.
Festus, you are speculating. We are telling you, look at what happened. You're pointing out the form Brentford are in. You're pointing that out at home, right? And we're letting you see as well that Wolves had almost that same, if not better.
I understand, but
but Leeds went there to the Molineux and beat.
No, but Wolves and Brentford plays different football. Brentford is very physical and play direct football. Wolves, always play similar football to Leeds. So on a good day, is who is better on the field. But Brentford at home has been very consistent. That's the point. I'm bringing it down home to what we've seen in Brentford. A lot of big teams have gone there and really, really struggled. I'm pointing out at least based on what has happened. So I don't see Leeds winning or even getting a point in Brentford. That's the point. I'm not even characterizing it on any other team.
Do you know why, as good as Brentford, as good as you paint Brentford, they are 14th in the table?
Because they've been bad travelers. They've really been losing away.
No, don't forget
even at home. Even at home.
Not much at home.
Brentford lost to Newcastle, quite handedly.
Check, not much at home. Even most of the big teams didn't win them at home. A lot of big teams just got draws and they lost.
Man United beat them, at home. They drew against Crystal Palace. So
Arsenal beat them.
Yeah, Man City beat them, at home.
Arsenal beat them. I thought.
Yeah, we beat them at home as well. At home, because we lost to them at the Emirates.
Oh,
So
okay, that's true.
yeah,
I was
so
thinking
we've
of
beat
the
them.
loss before. Yeah.
So I think that yes, Brentford has been a good,
This
consistent team
well,
this season, but I think that Leeds have got the ability to go and win away from home.
So on the table, it looks easy for Everton, but on the pitch, it is not as straightforward.
yeah, of course.
That's why a Burnley that was deep in that waters, and Newcastle that was carried the entire team, entire whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Newcastle are in 10th position right now in the Premier League. That one. That's another story entirely that we'll talk about at the end of the season. But guys, one final conversation we should have. Race for the top 4 is looking like it's becoming race for the top 3.
I approve that message.
Chelsea can't seem to find the results. No matter what they try, they can't seem to find the result. And with the last set of results, Spurs and Arsenal have a chance of usurping Chelsea if Chelsea slip up again.
For me, Kali, unfortunately, as an Arsenal fan, I should be rejoicing and I should be jumping up, but I don't see top 3 in contention. The reason, I'm going to give you my reasons. I think it's still Arsenal, Spurs fighting for top 4. Chelsea will nick it. Chelsea will, I think they're home and dry. 3 points advantage at this point in time is a whole lot. And they have a whole lot of superior goals difference. If you check, their goals difference is 39 compared to Spurs 20 and Arsenal 13. Even when if they slip up in one match, we'll catch up with them at same point. We still cannot overtake them based on the superior goals, and I don't see them slipping more than 1 matches. Now, if you look at the remaining last 4 matches, Chelsea is playing Wolves, Leeds, Leicester, Watford. These are all, at least between Leeds, Watford, these are all top, bottom 3, bottom 4. Then Wolves, which is a bit inconsistent, Leicester inconsistent. And they are playing Wolves home, they are playing Leicester home, they are playing Leeds away, they are playing Watford away. These are all winnable matches. No, I know. Let
me help you, right? Let me help you. Remove the Leeds game because we don't know what can happen because they are fighting for their lives, right? Remember that Chelsea have had some very, very strange games, right, this season. So they are very, very capable right now. I don't know what's happening. There's probably some internal stuff going on.
I think it's the off-field finally catching up with them.
Lukaku, whether he's starting, whether he's not starting, if Havertz is not scoring, and okay, now, what's his name? Werner has been, hitting a few goals in. But right now, Chelsea are becoming very predictable in terms of how they play. And teams are working that out. So that's why I look at all those games and I'm saying to myself, if there is a team on that list that really, really needs a result, I can't rule that team out. And so, in all those games that you've mentioned, I would just say you take out Leeds because we just don't know what's going to happen. Leeds needs a result very, very badly. And then remember that they have a FA Cup final game sandwiched in between their Premier League games, the last couple of Premier League games. And
that's some level of distraction.
Yes, and if I'm Chelsea, I'm thinking this season hasn't gone the way that we wanted. I don't expect them to drop out of the top 4, but we can finish with a trophy. Yeah. And so, you look at the game just before that FA Cup final, and you're thinking to themselves, Tuchel will be thinking, I need to win this game because, they got very close and lost the game. And now they are thinking to themselves, actually, this might be a chance to just save our season. Because if he doesn't win anything, he's going to be under pressure. Because everyone is thinking, right, he won the Champions League last year. He was supposed to come in and win the league this season. That's all everybody's prediction was. So to finish the season without any trophy and potentially dropping out of the top 3, I think would be too much. And if I'm Chelsea, you prioritize getting a trophy because you're in the final already. So that's why right now I look at those games and I'm saying to myself, actually, I can't rule out anything, in those games because Chelsea right now would need to have a different kind of focus to end the season.
I still think Chelsea will finish third.
Yeah, exactly.
I still feel Chelsea will
Kelly,
finish
I was
third.
just saying that all this
We
news, 7 p.m. news, Eddie's reading, 9 p.m. news. Chelsea will still finish third
do all the
because
permutations.
they are a big
all
team.
The permutations.
We can
do all the permutations and everything.
Yeah, they are a big team. They have a large squad. They can't blend and they could actually manage their players. It's 5 matches remaining to end the season. Come on, Eddie. They should be able to. They should be able to.
I think Chelsea will just finish.
They play 2 teams that starts with an
Let's
L.
not go beyond. Let's focus on our mates. Our mates for now is Spurs. Let's focus on our mates and let's see how we can qualify for Champions. Leave the top 3. Top 4 is what we should be looking at. The 4th place.
All right, guys. Let's bring it to a close now. We need to go to our predictions. Okay, so the games we're predicting, the games we're looking at today. Yep. Well, all of them have some levels of the results will have some ramifications on the league because it will affect the standings in the table. Let me start with this one. Burnley, those ones are running away anyway. Burnley at home to Aston Villa. With the way they played in recent weeks, I would be shocked if anybody else think Aston Villa can get a result. But I think Burnley will win this one.
Yeah, 2-0 to Burnley.
For me, Burnley has won 3 straight matches in 3 straight matches in their last 5, and Aston Villa has just won 1 in 5. So, like we said before, Aston Villa has gone home. I think whatever the coach is saying, the players
for the year.
Yeah, the players they're already on holiday. They're in Portugal enjoying the sun. So for me, I think Burnley will win 2-0.
2-0. All right. Leicester hosting Everton.
Leicester has been very inconsistent. Just 1 win in 5 matches. They've not won in the last 4 matches.
Terrible.
That's how bad they are.
Terrible.
And we can see Everton is riding high on the last win against Chelsea. So,
that's a huge win.
Yeah. And like we said, if they can ride on that, I think this match could be a decider. It could actually turn Everton's season. I want to see an Everton win. I want to be that ambitious.
So what are you predicting?
1-0
Everton.
Yep.
Eddie.
I'm going 3-1 Everton.
Wow.
3-1 Everton.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that game is going to end in a draw.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a score. It's going to be a score draw in that one. Arsenal leads. Yes. This one, I want to predict this one. 3-0 Arsenal. 3-0 Arsenal. Arsenal to start slow, struggle, but eventually turn on the heat. 3-0 Arsenal.
This is 2 teams on the opposite sides. Leeds has not won in their last 2 matches. Arsenal has won 3 in their last consecutive matches. So Arsenal is clearly in form, and I see Arsenal winning this. I see a 3-1.
3-1. All right.
I'm going 4-0 to Arsenal.
4.
Eddie is riding high today.
It's okay. Liverpool, Tottenham Hotspur. I think Liverpool will win this one. 3-1 to Liverpool. They have to score 2 goals. So if you're playing fantasy football, go and captain.
Yes, Kali says so.
So I think Liverpool will win this one 3-1.
Yeah. I think yeah.
You want to hear my prediction?
2-0 for me.
5-0
to Spurs.
Wow. Eddie.
5-0 to Liverpool. I expect Salah to come back and score. So 2 goals for Salah, 2 goals for Diaz, 1 goal for Mane. Actually,
man, I need to change my fantasy.
Actually, let me change that. 2 goals to Salah, 2 goals to Mane, and 1 goal to Diaz.
Let me add, I need to buy Salah. I need to buy Salah fast.
I don't want Salah anymore on my side. It has cost me too many points. All right, the final game we're predicting: Manchester City up against Newcastle United. I want first to start first. That thing you said earlier.
What did I say earlier?
You said it won't be close.
No,
City will whitewash them.
For me, yeah, both teams. If you look at their stats, the last 5 matches, both has won 4 matches. City has only lost. They drew to Liverpool, which all knew had a match when, and these guys lost to Spurs, which is a team in form also. So both teams are actually in form. It's going to be an interesting match. But just like what I said before, City is going to come with a vengeance. They are professional. They are experienced professionals. You have a whole lot of experience in that team. I see them coming back from that disappointment against Real Madrid, and I think they will pour that vengeance on Newcastle. So I see a 3-0 in this match, not even close.
3-0 to City.
Yep.
All right. All right.
First to say so.
I think, City are just going to edge it. So I'm going to go 2-1 to City.
2-1 to City. So yeah, I'm looking at, I'm seeing a 2-1 result as well. 2-1 to City.
We'll know after the Seers have seen it.
All right, thank you very much.
I thought you were going to give City like 4 or 5 goals the way you were talking.
I thought it was. I even thought it was.
You guys made me uncomfortable, so I started to sleep.
All right, thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much, guys. It's been an interesting conversation. And thank you to all of you who keep coming to our YouTube channel, watching what we do. These are just a group of friends who just love the game of football, and we just love to talk about football. And we're all Arsenal fans. We're going to bring in a few people who are not Arsenal fans so that we can actually tease them and harass them, especially some United fans. We need to actually, guys, we need to look for some United fans that we can harass. Bring them on, banter them till they run away. But it's been an event.
At least our mates for now, right, Kali?
Sorry?
Our mates for now. We can't bring in City or Liverpool fans.
We senior United.
We're waiting for 10 Hag or 7 Hag or 8 Hag or
whatever.
How many, whatever. Guys, remember, go to every time you come here, leave a comment. Let's know what you think about what we do. Subscribe to our channel. Click on the notification button so that every time we upload, you get some sort of notification letting you know that these crazy guys are back with whatever they feel about what has happened in the Premier League. And we're going to get better as we go on. Final words from you guys, Festus?
It's been an interesting ride. I always have fun whenever I'm here. Wherever you are all over the world, this is GameOn. We talk about football, soccer, football, whatever you call it, from anywhere you are at this point in time. Thank you for staying with us and enjoying this episode. Always, by next week, we'll come back with an interesting review of what happened this weekend and a preview of next week. Thank you for staying with us and have a wonderful time. Peace.
Eddie?
So thank you very much, everyone. We've had a great time doing this Game On. So we're back again, with more previews, more reviews. So you know what to do. Smash that like button, share with your friends, drop a comment. Let us know how you're feeling, into the last couple of seasons, and come back to look at how we review our predictions,
our predictions
in the next show, because I'm sure that's going to be some fun. So till we see you again, thank you very much. Peace out.
Awesome. All right, till the next time we'll see you guys. It's Game On. Enjoy yourselves and have a brilliant weekend. Bye-bye.